Hey everyone, Boletsky here. I originally recorded this as part of a different video, but I decided to make it its own video since it ended up being long enough and it's really its own topic. This chapter has gotten a lot of flack for being really hard online, or at least from what I saw, but I thought that I breezed through it. So this is how I did it, and I hope it helps. For the record, I did this right after Alchrist's chapter. Completing it at different times may have your mileage vary. The most difficult parts of this chapter are the dragons, which have 1 to 3 range and freeze your units, and the seemingly endless reinforcements in the middle portion of the chapter, though they do end after something like 6 or 8 waves. Your best answer to the former is an archer because bows are effective against dragons, and your best answer to the latter is an archer along with a particular setup you can do in the middle of the map, because bows are effective against dragons. To this chapter I brought Alar with Marth, Alfred with Sigurd and a +1 Marth engraved steel lance, Chloe with Edelgard, Saline with Celica, Louis with boots and a rider's bane, Alchrist, Boucheron with Micaiah, although in hindsight Yunaka may have been better, and Jean. You do have plenty of time to get to the center of the map before the reinforcements start, so don't panic and rush through the map, although you should go at a healthy pace. Immediately at the start I used Warp Ragnarok to kill the unit on the terrain tile, and killed the unit next to him, if I remember right using Alfred and Alchrist with a longbow. On turn 2 I killed the lance fighter and continued moving most units forward, while Chloe flew over the wall and Alchrist used his longbow, both to attack the Free Staff Mage. After this portion, most of your units will be bunched up in this corner of the map, waiting for the reinforcements from the right side to reach them so we can get rid of them before moving on to the dragon to the north. Use this time to position Alchrist on this tile and snipe this dragon over the wall with the longbow, killing him on enemy phase. Use Chain Guard if you can to not get frozen so Alchrist can move on to the north corridor quickly. This corridor to the north is pretty easy, just pull units 1 or 2 at a time and get rid of them, taking note not to step into the range of the dragon on your right unless you're ready to kill it. Once you get to the crossroads, do not pull any of the enemies on the left or the right. By now the reinforcements are going to come any second, and getting sandwiched will absolutely spell death. Each wave of reinforcements consists of 2 dragons stacked one over the other, and 1 other unit type which is different each time to the left and to the right. The reinforcements come every 3 turns, giving you just enough time to kill a wave and then get back into position to receive the next one. Here's how to handle this. In the center of the corridor, place Alchrist at the tip of the first dragon's range with a longbow equipped, so he'll get attacked and can retaliate. To his right, place your monk and chain guard. This not only keeps Alchrist healthy so he can immediately shoot the other dragon on player phase, but also prevents him from getting frozen, which will stop him from doing so. Then place the rest of your units on the ice tiles above such that all of them will be able to rush down and kill the rest of the units. I tried this setup on most turns, where Alfred is in the back due to his long movement range and momentum, and Alar is right next to Alchrist. My Alar setup helped tremendously with this. He had Avoid +10 and Sword Agility 1, alongside with Sigurd's Engraving on a +2 Liberation. This gave him 40 extra avoid so the dragons only had around a 25% chance to hit him, letting him dodge most retaliations. In theory, you can use Micaiah's Engraving for even more avoid, but this lowers your damage. Alchrist's setup helps a lot too. He only needs a little extra speed over base to double dragons with the +1 Iron Bow, and if you can get him to +4 speed, about halfway through the waves after he levels, he'll start doubling them with the longbow, making the rest of the waves tremendously easy. It might be +3, but I'm pretty sure it's +4, putting him at 16 speed, and then leveling gives him 17, -4 speed for the longbow, gives him 13 effective speed, and the dragons had 8. That sounds about right. I luckily had a +2 speed bond ring, and I think I got a +2 speed meal if I remember correctly. You can also achieve the same thing with a +1 speed +1 build ring if there are any available. If you're really having trouble getting access to that +4 and still want that doubling longbow setup, you can always promote him for +1 speed. Wasting 1 Master Seal isn't the end of the world, even if you don't end up using Alchrist after Fogado joins. Finally, the third and most necessary build choice is Micaiah's Healing Light skill on your monk. This allows your monk to easily have full health every time a new wave arrives, ready for another chain guard every time. After roughly half the waves pass, seemingly for no reason at all, the few units down the right corridor, including the dragon, start charging at you, even if you didn't pull them. This initially made me panic, but is totally manageable. I sent most of my units down south as normal to handle the reinforcement wave, while Chloe engaged and uses Houses Unite to kill the dragon in one shot. The other few units are much less dangerous, and I was able to clean up using her, Boucheron, and Alfred, who engaged to go from all the way south up to the northeast in a single turn. If you bring Yunaka, in theory she can also help by standing on the northeastern pillar and dodge tanking. If you do bring Yunaka, give her a +2 Iron Dagger. Unlike other forges which usually only have a decent +1 upgrade and then only 5 hit on +2, daggers gain +2 might on every level, and Yunaka's strength could really use some help. Once you see the final wave of 3 dragons, you're done with the hard part. Head north and west to clean up, use the rewarp staff from the chest to grab the shiny spot for the silver card, and kill Tiki. Now you have the best emblem in the game and 30% off all market prices. And that's the guide. Leave me a comment to let me know if you think it's good or not, and if you do, please like the video so it gets to more people and helps them too. Appreciate it, hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.